Hey guys, Christina here, and today I have a flip through and review of The Good and the Beautiful's Level 8 book study based on Abraham Lincoln. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Christina. I'm a homeschooling mom to 5 children in the Canadian Maritimes, and I've had 2 children do all of the other Level 8 book studies, which I have reviews of. I will link up top if you'd like to see them. But my 3rd child was the first one to do this one on Abraham Lincoln because they recently made the book studies free, and this is one that I didn't have. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera around and just give you a look at all the different components, and then I'll come back here and share my thoughts on it. There are 3 parts to this book study. There's the actual book, there is the book study consumable part for the student, and then there is the answer key. So let's start with the book. So this one is by Wilbur Fisk Gordy. It is a level 8 according to their levels, The Good and the Beautiful, and it is about 200 pages. I'll tell you what it says on the back here. Written in 1917, Wilbur Gordy's biography of Abraham Lincoln brings to life one of the greatest men of history. The biography is not fictionalized. It sticks to factual information and stories, but is presented in a way that makes history interesting and meaningful. As the book travels through the life of Abraham Lincoln, from boyhood on up, valuable lessons are taught about wisdom, kindness, honesty, hard work, love of learning, and persevering through trials. The next part is the actual consumable book study part. So if you're not familiar with book studies, basically you're learning language arts through a book. You're studying the book while learning principles of language arts. So theirs includes writing, spelling, grammar, usages and punctuation, geography, literature, handwriting, and art. Like I mentioned, this is free to download the PDF. I'll give you kind of a flip through. There's 28 lessons. I believe there's 2 sketching projects they do. That is one of them. There's another little story that they read in here. Let me find the beginning of it. Here we go. 2 Noble Lives, Samuel Girdley Howe and Julia Ward Howe. By their daughter Laura E. Richards. So this is included in it as well. The rest of it is just daily lessons. So it's a mix of quotes where they're writing them out. There's questions they're answering. There's different spelling and words they're working on. Sometimes they have to choose between homophones. Sometimes they have to do editing. Sometimes they have to put it in alphabetical order. So here's kind of what it looks like. There's also beautiful pictures and there's art studies that they do with it. And as part of it, they also memorize the Battle Hymn of the Republic, verses 1, 4, and 5. So they're working on this while they're doing the book study. The last part is the answer key. This is also available online. I just prefer to have everything in paper form, and so I printed it. It's very small, like there is not much to it at all, and it just gives all the answers for things that you need to know. It gives you options for some of the writing parts in case you're not reading the book, vocabulary, spelling. It's quite straightforward. So those are the 3 components of the book study. So my thoughts on it. First of all, the reason that my 2 older children did not do this book study is because we're not American. And so I didn't feel like it was something that they really needed to do. They did the other 2 book studies. One is kind of incorporated with Canadian things, takes place in Canada, and the other one I felt like had a lot of great virtue and it was a well-known figure. This one I had some mixed feelings about. So it wasn't until it was free, like I mentioned, that I thought, okay, the book studies really don't take much time. It's never been a full year for my children. And so I thought, well, adding a 3rd one in will make it a little bit deeper, a little bit of a meatier language arts year for my kids. I just feel like all the book studies, and this one as well, that they're more like that maybe level 4 to 5 kind of level. They're not very difficult at all. This one was unusual because it didn't have art projects like the other ones do. It just had those 2 little sketches. I think that was all that was in them. So that was a little bit different. But it does have the high expectations of grammar and language, the high morality of the book that you're reading, and what you're learning about that person and their qualities that The Good and the Beautiful is known for. So I have not read this book. I hope to read it at some point. Life is just so busy. I would like to read it at some point. So I can't say too much about the book. I think it was great for my son to have the experience to learn about a leader from another country. The Battle Hymn of the Republic, I love that he studied that song. That's just such a well-known song, and we've sung it at church, and now he knows a little bit more about it. So overall, I think it's a good resource. I wouldn't count on it being like your only thing for language arts for grade 8. It's just not that in depth. It's affordable. It's got the high morals, like I said. And I'm not sure if you can buy this book elsewhere. I imagine you can. I'm sure that they're not the only place that sell it, because sometimes that can be expensive if you're from another country trying to get the books. But otherwise, it works. Hopefully it's given you kind of a look through it and an idea if it's something that's going to work for your child or not. If you do have more questions, you can leave them in the comment section down below, because I always try to answer them there. Otherwise, though, I hope this has been helpful and that it finds you having a great day. Take care.